Okay, Terry. So thanks so much for taking a little time out to talk. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So now you've got this long-time deal in Las Vegas. So what brings you to Atlantic City? It seems like you should be taking your weekends off, not getting back on stage.
One thing that I absolutely love to do is to bring the show around the country. It's a different show than the one that people will see in Las Vegas, but I just don't want people to kind of forget that I'm here. A lot of times people will come into Las Vegas and they'll just sit here and after a few years, you kind of get out of sight, out of mind. And that's something I don't want people to do. I want people to remember that the show is here and that I'm always changing the show. I'm always writing new material and keeping it fresh and updated. And so it's really just a chance for me to get out there, first of all, bring the show to fans outside of Las Vegas and remind them of just how much fun the show is and that if they come into Las Vegas, they can see something unique and different, even from what they just saw wherever I was on the road.
So then what do you have planned for Atlantic City? I guess you'll still have some of the characters people remember from America's Got Talent, some of your core characters, but some new stuff as well?
Oh, absolutely. They'll see some characters that were created specifically for my Las Vegas show, but of course they will see some of the characters that they saw on America's Got Talent. That's definitely, and with some of these characters, for example, Winston the impersonating turtle. Winston is just one of those guys that is just he's so beloved. People really, really like Winston. Emma Taylor, of course, who's the one who did, who sang like Etta James, she'll be there as well. And so what you saw in America's Got Talent was just a little tiny teaser of what my full show is. My show is really funny. It's just one of those shows that is completely unique and different because you're going to get to see lots and lots of your favorite singers performed live, everyone from Adele to Elvis Presley, to Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber, lots and lots of classic stuff. It's very hard to explain how much fun this show is. It's so much fun. Dolly Parton will be making an appearance. It's just one of those shows that you just have to see to believe.
And I think people who aren't familiar with what you do, think of ventriloquist as sort of, the guy with a puppet, just sort of there, standing there. But this is kind of a much more engaging, you're sort of trying to push the whole envelope with what it means to be a ventriloquist, right?
Exactly. And I can promise you that it won't take long before you don't realize that you're seeing a ventriloquist. The way I make my show, I put my show together is I look at myself as a talk show host, and the characters are just guests of my show. And I can promise every single person that comes to the show that within 30 seconds, you are not going to feel like you're seeing a ventriloquist show. You're actually going to be seeing real characters. Even though Winston, the impersonating turtle, is a turtle, you're going to forget that it's a puppet. You're going to he's just going to be Winston. And these guys, they do these, I have them do these incredible impressions, the Jersey Boys, and it's just really so much fun. And a lot of people ask me, they say, well, you can do all these voices, you can impersonate all these singers. Why in the world do you use puppets? And my reply is because I can. I mean, I'm the only person I know of that can actually do these impressions without moving my lip. And it just really kind of brings a whole new whimsy and makes the show that much more entertaining and fun that these characters come out and sing these songs. So it's something that when you leave the show, you're going to go away saying, my goodness, I really, really had a good time. And so that's what it's all about, coming out to see us at the Foxwoods.
Now, when you mentioned about sort of changing things up all the time, can you be in the moment spontaneously on stage, or do you have to sort of prepare for the changes because of the complexities of the show, or can you suddenly decide in the middle of the show I'm going to do this instead of this? Or...
No, the show is set because we have a lot of different cues that so I don't do a whole lot of making up on the spot. Occasionally I'll do some ad-libbing while I'm on stage, but the show is pretty much set. But what I mean by changing it is every few months I'll change one of the characters, I'll rewrite the routine, I'll add some new songs and do some new music. In fact, I recently added the Temptations to my song list. I have a black character named Julius who does doo-wop, and he also sings the Temptations. So I'm always looking for new impressions that I can do and put into the show, and I'm always looking for brand new characters. I've got a new character that is a Hawaiian character who my wife is Hawaiian, and so I have this fun Hawaiian character that sings a Hawaiian song while my wife dances on stage. She's my assistant on stage as well. So, I'm just always looking for new and inventive ways to entertain people. And so that's how the show is constantly changing.
And what is the Hawaiian song that you do?
Well, I do the version of the version of Somewhere Somewhere Over the Rainbow by Is, who is probably the most famous Hawaiian singer, and it has a ukulele, and that's but it's just as beautiful. But I also do a Bob Marley song as well, and I do an authentic Hawaiian song too in Hawaiian. So.
And what's the Hawaiian song you do in Hawaiian?
I'd have to look up the name of it. It's it's Kaloke. I think it's Kaloke is the name of the song, but it's it was something that my wife actually inspired me to do. She asked me if I would get together a Hawaiian, because she's actually a hula dancer. She does real, genuine, authentic hula. So it's very, very, very unusual to be able to put that into the show. Yeah, the name of the song is Kaloke.
Okay. Did you meet her in Las Vegas, or was she already there?
No, I did. I actually met her in Las Vegas. She was born in Hawaii, and then her family moved when she was young here to Las Vegas, and she became my on-stage assistant. And so we started dating and fell in love and got married, and so now we're just a big family on stage.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And what is the name of this new Hawaiian character you created?
His name is Kani, Kani. Last name is Kapila, Kapila.
Okay.
And it's actually kind of a little, not a pun, but it's kind of a little take. Anyone who is Hawaiian will know what a Kani Kapila is. When you all get together and people pull out their guitars and they sing and dance, that's called a Kani Kapila. It's and so I named him Kani Kapila. It's only one word when the Hawaiians are saying it. So it's so funny because every time I tell Hawaiians that his name is Kani Kapila, they laugh. They think it's funny that his name actually means having. It's kind of like a Hawaiian jam session. So
right. Now, have there been any voices or characters that you can't quite get? I always think that's interesting to find out from impressionists, that there's that one they're trying to work on that they not quite ready for the stage, but you want to get there someday. Is there one of those that's very challenging to you?
Yeah, there always are going to be those voices that are just really difficult. One for me is Frank Sinatra. I can do Tony Bennett and Dean Martin and Sandy Davis Jr. and a lot of these different voices from that era. I can do Bing Crosby, but for some reason the Frank is just very difficult for me. I'm still working on it. It took me like 3 years to get down my Barbra Streisand. So, but I will do Barbra Streisand when I come in for the show this week, in next month. So.
And which Barbra do you do?
I do Don't Rain on My Parade. Actually, I should say Barry Fabulous does Don't Rain on My Parade. I have this character whose name is Barry Fabulous, and it's Berry, not Barry. And he's kind of a flamboyant, fun character. He's the one who does Cher and Barbra Streisand.
He does some of the divas.
Exactly. Well, he is a diva, so.
So I'm curious now, there's been a few years since you won America's Got Talent. Do you ever have one of those dreams that people have sometimes where you wake up and think, you didn't win, nothing worked out. That's the dreams people have when they think they didn't graduate from college or something like that. You have to pinch yourself sometimes and say, wow, this is my life now or something.
I don't dream that it didn't happen. My nightmare, and my wife thinks this is just hilarious, but the funny thing is she's a dancer and she has a similar dream. But my nightmare is that I get up to perform and I can't remember any of my songs and I can't remember any of my routines, and people are getting up and leaving. And my wife tells me the similar dream that she has is that she gets up to perform a hula, and hula is not just moving your hands and hips. Every movement in hula is a statement. So it's actually kind of like sign language in Hawaiian. So when you do a certain move, it means rain. When you do another certain move, it means your heart is breaking or your heart is happy. And so her nightmare is that she gets up to perform a hula and she can't remember any of the moves. So I think that's pretty typical, is that when you specialize in something and you're an entertainer, it's just that's your typical nightmare, is that you can't remember your routine.
And do you think, without America's Got Talent, would you be here now? Or you think that, would you have gotten here a different way, or was the show really like a unique way to sort of get this national platform,
Well, I like to think that I would have, but I doubt that I would have, because I had been trying so hard to bring my type of entertainment into the mainstream, and I was getting shut down at every single venue. I even came into Las Vegas about 8 months before I went on America's Got Talent, and I did a showcase, or actually before I won America's Got Talent, and I did a showcase for 3 producers in Las Vegas, and all 3 of them told me I was not Las Vegas material and that I would never play Las Vegas. So, it was very disheartening. And then I went on America's Got Talent, which put me in front of millions of people, not only here in this country, but in, I think, 27 countries around the world. And it was later that year that I did my first headlining gig in Las Vegas, and now I'm one of the top shows in Vegas. So I really believe that America's Got Talent was the venue that got me out there and allowed people to see the uniqueness of what I do.
And you've kept a relationship with the show. You've been to the finals the last couple of years. Do you think, will you be back this year as well, or?
Well, we're certainly talking to them. We're talking about different ways that I can get out there and continue just to increase their brand, because I'm by far the most successful person that's been on the show since it came on. So it's to me, it's a wonderful symbiotic relationship that I very much appreciate them, and I'm not one of those people that goes away saying, "Oh, I'm ashamed of it." I'm absolutely proud that I was on that show and that I won the show, and I want to continue representing them in the best way I possibly can.
Right. Okay. I guess I just wanted to before we go, just check on Winston to see what he's going to be doing exactly in the show. What are some of his new songs?
Well, Winston is going to come out, and Winston does some stuff from Phantom of the Opera. He does Justin Bieber. He does some Justin Timberlake. He also does the Jersey Boys. And of course, the show just wouldn't be right if Winston didn't do his Kermit the Frog impression, which is a highlight of the show as well. So, Winston is just one of those guys that I love Winston because I created him for America's Got Talent. And he's wonderful because regardless of what impression I want to do, Winston's the guy that can do it because he is the impersonating turtle.
Right. Okay, Terry, well, that's everything on my list of questions. Was there something else you wanted to throw out there that we didn't get to today?
Well, we just want to make sure, remind everybody to go to terryfator.com to keep updates on what's going on in my world. We also have Facebook and Twitter. And so we hope to see everybody out there on our social media.
Great. Yeah, we'll definitely mention your website. And thanks so much for taking a few minutes out for chat.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Robert. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.